Hi, my name is Jacqueline Morelia. I'm the CEO of KLAW Industries. And at KLAW, we turn glass bottles into concrete. In order to understand how we do this, we first need to understand two very different industries and their systemic problems. Let's start with the recycling industry. When you place a glass bottle in the recycling bin, either in the southern tier or anywhere else in the United States, the glass often isn't recycled. Instead, the glass is broken up and mixed with the smaller pieces of the other recyclable materials, making the glass unusable to make new glass bottles or anything else. Because of this, recycling facilities are forced to send the glass to the landfill at a loss. Here's a picture of this waste glass, just so you have a better idea of what I'm talking about. As you can see, this is about 80% glass by mass, but the other 20% is every other type of recyclable material you could think of, making this glass unusable and forcing recycling facilities to send the glass to the landfill at a loss of over $200,000 a year for a typical facility. Now, totally switching gears, I want to talk about concrete. To make concrete, you need coarse aggregate, think gravel, fine aggregate, think sand, and then cement and water, which form the glue that holds the aggregates together. This makes the concrete we all know and love, but there's much more to it than that. Cement is about 15% of concrete by weight, but it's 75% of concrete by cost, making it by far the highest material cost for concrete manufacturers. In order to combat these costs, concrete manufacturers have been using cement replacements for years in their concrete mixtures. The main ones are fly ash from coal power plants and slag from steel foundries. However, both these materials are going away because the industries they rely on are disappearing. Coal power plants are being exchanged for more sustainable energy generation sources, and steel manufacturing has been going overseas for years because of lower costs. This means concrete manufacturers no longer have cement replacements for their concrete and are forced to go back to 100% cement mixes. This means that not only is their concrete mixtures much more expensive, their concrete also has a much higher carbon footprint, because for every ton of cement that's produced, a ton of CO2 is released into the atmosphere. So how do we solve these major systemic problems? At KLAW Industries, we are paid by recycling facilities to take their waste glass. We put it through a patent pending process and we create Pantheon, a partial replacement for cement like fly ash or slag. For recycling facilities, we're able to offer them a lower cost of disposal, and we're able to guarantee to them that their glass is actually recycled, which is important to them both altruistically and for grant funding. For concrete manufacturers using Pantheon, not only are we able to offer them a lower cost, since Pantheon is lower cost to produce than fly ash, slag, or cement, we're also able to offer them a more environmentally sustainable concrete. But most importantly to them, their concrete is stronger, more chemically resistant when they use Pantheon, meaning they're able to offer their customers an all-around better product at a lower cost. To prove this in the field, we've done 7 different pilot tests at different concrete companies. One of the main ones we've done is Barney & Dickinson in Vestal, New York. And in this test, we compared Pantheon to slag in a head-to-head comparison to show that Pantheon, without changing any other variables, outperforms slag. As you can see at the 28-day mark, which is when concrete strength is measured, Pantheon beats slag by a 11% margin, meaning that it is indisputably a better product in concrete mixes without changing anything. This mix design was originally meant to be for slag. So what is the competition for this product? Well, there's cement, fly ash, and slag, which we already talked about, but there's also other glass cement replacements out there that are used to some extent. The issue is these materials are made from clean glass that can be used to make new glass bottles, meaning they're paying for their raw material. This makes their material too expensive for concrete manufacturers to buy for everyday mixes, and they only use it in specialty lead projects, if at all. With Pantheon, we're able to offer the same sustainability and lead benefits that other glass pozzolans do, but we also are able to offer a lower cost since our technology allows us to utilize the waste glass rather than clean glass, meaning we're paid for our raw material. We're planning to protect this material and our process with a patent that's already been filed. And we received real legal counsel. We didn't write this patent ourselves, so that we know that this patent will be bulletproof once it goes through the patent office. We've worked with all these companies to some extent to develop our product and process. Additionally, we went through the National Science Foundation National I-Corps program, which means that we have done in-depth customer research to all the possible customer segments and have identified the sections of the concrete industry and recycling industry that we think are most viable to be our beachhead market in entering these much broader industries. At full scale, we plan to target the northeastern United States as the broad concrete industry we aim to grow into. This full-scale market can be served by one large-scale plant producing over 50,000 tons of glass, or 50,000 tons of glass a year. This will result in over $5.5 million in revenue and over $900,000 in profit. Here's our timeline of what we've done so far. Our biggest steps are next applying for New York State DOT certification and securing funding for our pilot plant we opened this summer. This pilot plant will eventually be grown into that full-scale plant we talked about earlier. While I'm the one presenting, I'm not the only member of the KLAW team. I'm the CEO, but there's also Tanner Wallace, the CTO, and Jacob Kumpan, the COO. We are the founders of this company and the technology and have done in-depth customer research with all our potential customers. We've also received invaluable advising from our professors at Clarkson University, as well as the members of the Kauffman Incubator here in Binghamton. These advisors that you can see at the bottom are invaluable to our company and have allowed us to get this far and are continuing to help us grow as we expand across New York and the Northeast. Thank you. And do you have any questions?